So you guys were one. I'm hearing a lot of you guys. You guys wanted a theme song shortened, so here we go. This girl reviews movies, games, and books. Sometimes she plays them. So does that? And when she does it with the cat, does that make her crazy? Does that make her crazy? Probably. So it's shorter. There you go. Crazy Cat Lady Gamer Reviewer or Martha Butler does not own any trailers or pictures. I use them under fair use, educational, for education and entertainment purposes. Hi everybody, Martha here. So this one, I don't know how you guys heard of this movie before. Well, you heard The Hobbit, but this is the animated version of it, which is made by Breaking Bash, who's also made those made all those those Rudolph movies that were puppets. Mm. But this came out after those movies, because I think those movies came out in the 60s. This one came out 1997, 1977, a long time. So, and it's about the Hobbit, which is, you know, the story about Bilbo Baggins, who has to help 13 dwarves get the treasure away from a dragon named Smaug. And if you read the book, you have to wonder, like, which one did it better? These guys or Peter Jackson? Well, Peter Jackson, since he did it out of order, because The Hobbit came before Lord of the Rings, and he did Lord of the Rings before The Hobbit. He tried to make you nostalgic for the Lord of the Rings, that added a bunch of different characters that were not even mentioned in The Hobbit into The Hobbit, like Legolas and Frodo. And he mentioned like Gimli, but this one, I think there's a huge problems compared to the book. I'm not really comparing it to that one because I think the only one that the Peter Jackson did better was the first one. Wait, wrong one. Was this one. The Unexpected Journey is the only one I think is better than this one. These two are not better than this one, so 1/3 is like, but they don't mention like a lot of the characters from the book. They never mention Thorn's grandpa's name or his dad's name. I think it's Thor is his grandpa's name, and Thrall is his grandpa's name. A lot of the characters that are dwarves' names rhyme, so. And they don't even mention why Gandalf is actually helping the dwarves in this book, in this movie. Now, if you read the book, you know that the reason why Gandalf is helping dwarves by getting Bilbo is because he's afraid of Sauron returning, and he's afraid that Smaug will go and help Sauron during the war if he returns. So that is why Gandalf is actually willing to help the dwarves by getting Bilbo. Because once they get to Morkwood, Gandalf leaves, and they don't even mention why Gandalf's leaving in this movie. He leaves because he has to go and deal with the necromancer, who becomes Sauron. And I don't like how they design the wood elves like after watching this, after you read the book, the book was read to me as a kid, but I listened to the book recently because that's how I remember books. It's read to me, but when it's read to me as a little kid, I have a hard time remembering. So when I remember and knowing what elves are supposed to look like, I do not like how the wood elves look like in this cartoon. And I did watch this cartoon as a kid, so I did not mind. But I did always wondered, I guess, why does Elrond and the wood elves, when they're supposed to be the same species or same people group, that they look different. One looks like brownies and one actually looks like elves. So I don't know. And that's the only part of that. And I think they did touch up this movie a little bit because I remember the older version be a lot more noisy, or like I had to turn my TV up really high to hear this movie. It's a lot more quiet than when I watched it as a kid when it was on VHS than when it was on this. So you're gonna watch the DVD version of this. You're gonna have to turn the TV up really loud. So yeah. And not many of the other dwarves even talk in this movie. Like, they have all 13 dwarves in this movie, but not all of them have lines in here. I don't think, I think even in, I bet, like in Peter Jackson's movie, at least they all talked. And they gave some other personality. The only one that got personality in this movie is Thorn. But, and they got the number wrong, during the Battle of Five Armies. The ones who die in the Battle of Five Armies that are part of the dwarves is Thorn, and his two nephews. I can't remember their names. But those are the two that are supposed to die, and they say 6 die. Now, the ones who die after that don't die for more years. They don't die until right before the Lord of the Rings happens, because they go back to if you remember from Fellowship of the Ring, you remember Balin was the one that Gimli finds in that movie. Now, Balin and Ori and Nori are the ones who die in that place. So is that even still 6 yet? No, that is. We had 3 that die in the Battle of Five Armies. Then we have 3 died there. So 13 minus 6 is 7. So that is what they're talking about. But they said 6 remains. So that means there's 1 more that dies before that. So what the heck? I don't think they need to either reread the book or just change it back to who are supposed to die. And I do like the songs in this cartoon. The fact they don't have the characters sing them, has had them sing in the background, like Chance's making Bilbo's bagging hates, stuff like that. I do like the riddles with Gollum, Bilbo, and how and they don't really make clear, don't anything with the ring, that if the dwarves know Bilbo has the ring, Gandalf definitely knows, but because he reminds him about because they do bring up Frodo at the very end, not by name, because he says at the very end, yes, leave it on your mantle, and thinking that your adventure has ended. And he says, "No, Bilbo. No, maybe you not understand that ring, but maybe one of your descendants may understand it. Then you'll understand this adventure's only beginning, kind of thing. Kind of shortening what he says, but basically, yeah, because so that is mentioning Bilbo and Frodo, but not by name. So that's the only time that they reference Lord of the Rings in this movie. So like they don't show Legolas at all, because Legolas is not in the original book. So yeah, even though technically he would be there because how old he would, because Elves live long enough. So yeah, though I do not want my Legolas looking like those elves. Okay. So I'm kind of happy he's not in this movie because you know me, I was in love with Orlando Bloom as a kid, and still am. So and so what else can I say? So I don't think this movie is as memorable as it was when I was a kid. But it was still okay. I mean, Gandalf does a lot in this movie. He's pretty magical. He's just mostly the storyteller in this movie, though, and he does the way that they don't mention like how he would trick the those trolls that who try to eat the dwarves and hit Bilbo, but by like making him like not decide what to eat, how to cook the dwarves. They did that on their own, but it's supposed to be Gandalf making them want to either roast them or eat them raw. So yeah, and this is different, and you can definitely tell that this is old animation. I mean, they have touched up a little bit, and like I said, they have made it less noisy. Like, remember how you could hear like things hit, if you could hear the arrows hit Smog, but in this version you don't. You don't hear like when Bilbo kills the spiders. You don't hear like you did in the older one. And I know they're trying to make it where it's less bloody in this version. And this version is for kids. It's the way they kill the characters, like the spiders, the goblins. They always do it like where they make it weird. They like turn the camera circularly, and like I guess signifies they died, but it's a weird way to kill somebody. So yeah, and the summary is it's pretty easy to explain. Bilbo helps dwarves get treasure back from the dragon. Then they have a big battle of 5 armies. Then Frodo and Bilbo go home. That simple. They don't even mention the fact that what happens at the very end, that Bilbo, at the end of the book, he would have to fight for his home back, because the ones who was to inherit his home after he dies was auctioning his stuff off. But so it was weird. That part they left out. Okay. So I'm gonna give this movie a 7 out of 10. Sully! What do you give it, Sully? I give it over 5. So, you go, my lad. Football, my lad. And subscribe to my dad. Bye-bye.